Hi, welcome to Hart, show where I talk about games, movies, and animes, young and old. Today we're going to be talking about the anime Kingdom of Ruin. Now, this anime has a really cool concept. Before I get too into it, I guess I'll explain the concept. The spark notes of it is it's a futuristic setting. Like they have some cyborgs and stuff. Not like everyone's a cyborg, but cyborgs exists, as well as witches and wizards. So it's like a magical futuristic era. But the twist is that actually I don't even know if there's wizards. I think anyone who uses magic is a witch. So we'll just call them witches. So basically all of the witches are being hunted by people with like tanks and guns and cyborgs and stuff like that. Like right off the bat, like I don't know if I know of any other show that is something like that. So I like the mix of a magic dynamic with some futuristic aspects in there. Like how would magic mix together with the more modern world? And there are some really crazy ways they do it. Like, someone shoots a gun and then uses magic on the bullet to turn the bullet into like a massive, essentially like bullet bill, and just decimates a building. It's crazy. It's insane. But the craziest part about the show is the main character is not a good guy whatsoever. He's actually the main bad guy, which is cool because they set that up right from the beginning. It's not something that is leading up or that you're wondering if it's going to happen. It just happens right off the bat so fast that you're actually unsure. Like, is this actually what's happening right now? Is he just going to be the main villain? Yes, he is. So in the first episode, our protagonist essentially loses his master, who they're also like kind of in love, I think. And they get captured and brought to the king and the queen. And basically she is humiliated in front of a whole crowd. Everyone has like their cell phones out. And that's kind of a wild scene because, well, it's pretty graphic. He like rips her shirt and like everyone's recording with their phones, like laughing at her and stuff. And then he's just beating the shit out of her. And then as she's telling the protagonist that she loves him, he shoots her in the head. And then an entire like gun squad of like 20 people just absolutely mow her down. And it's like, what the fuck? Like it's super intense. You're like, whoa, what the fuck am I getting myself into here, And then our main character gets captured and pretty much put in like a sarcophagus. And he's just, because he's the witch's apprentice and he's supposed to be super strong. They think he's going to be super strong anyways. And then there's a major time skip. He escapes. He's much older. And the entire time he's been thinking about how he can kill people. So he just starts murdering people indiscriminately. So basically like world military and all this stuff, witch hunters, they all are coming after him for his head. And yeah, I'm not going to continue there. I think you get it. I pretty much just explained all of episode 1. Spoilers. That's just to say that the first couple episodes are wild. They're insane. You're like, what is going on? What is going to happen? It's crazy. From the main character going completely rogue, the way people die, the people who die, it's crazy. The first like 4 episodes are absolutely insane. But then they keep doing it. Like every episode has some crazy wild left hook to it. And it's to the point where you don't care about anyone, about any characters at all. No characters are really like that cool or even redeemable. Like the main character, I think they want you to like, but he's also just straight up a terrorist. And then the character who's the one who's supposed to be turning him good, like to the good side, it kind of now seems like he's turning her to the bad side. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's really how it feels like it's going. I think that's the biggest thing, is that I don't care about any of the characters. I do like the show. Like it's fun, it's entertaining. There is like one group of characters I guess I do like, and it is sometimes comical, and some of the twists are really good, and you're like, how did that happen? How did that play out? But when there's so many, it gets like, it gets exhausting, especially if you end up binging a couple episodes and all this stuff happens. You're like, oh my god, fuck, like what am I watching? This is kind of insane. I'm like hearing myself how I'm talking about the show. I'm like, did I even like the show? And I did. It's just, it kind of is a wild show. You know what I mean? Just looking back on the season and all the wild shit that happened. Some of the wild stuff is kind of like, why? Why did we have to do that? Why did we have to blind that person like the way we did? Why did we have to do that? I kind of see what they're setting up for. I don't know if I like it. I'm going to keep ranting a bit because I especially didn't like the season finale at all, because it's just a very unearned. It feels like there's this like big crescendo at the end, which is not The final battle happens. Like basically the peak is happening at a very end of the second last episode. And then the last episode, peak, and then it ends pretty quick. And the rest of the episode, they're kind of like talking about what they're going to do in like the future and stuff. And it's one of those like going into the sunset moments. And it feels like you're supposed to be like, oh, he does like her. And like he does have a heart. And they are, I don't know. There's like a mixed feeling because of they are resembling two very evil characters while doing evil stuff, but it feels like the show wants you to be like, we like them, you know? But I don't know if I like them. I don't think I do like them. And like I said, it's like a going into the sunset moment. I'm like, is that actually the end of the season? And it's just the end of the season. I was like, what the fuck? I liked like a big chunk of the beginning and middle, and then there was at some point where I was talking with my buddy and he was like, yeah, I just don't care about any of the characters. I'm like, I completely agree. I don't really care about any of the characters. So what does that mean? Was I entertained? I was definitely entertained. So I guess if you're looking for a show where the character is more of the villain, that's not as thought-provoking. I think it's actually a good show. But even though I may not like the two characters, I guess, I am just super curious. Like they did that at least. They've kept me curious as to what the fuck's gonna happen next and where the show's gonna go. So I'm gonna keep watching it. So they've got me on that. So take that at what you will. I've said it. I'm just going to keep saying it for a couple more videos. I'm just not giving like rating numbers anymore. I'm just not doing that. I just want to talk about things that I like or things that I don't like, or in this case, things that I'm conflicted about. So that's just how I'm doing that now. I've done that in a couple of my other videos, which you can find here on my channel. I've done it on my latest Movie of the Year, Godzilla -1, and I did that in my Final Fantasy 16 review as well. I also do have a rant about Vinland Saga and Vinland Saga Season 2, because I love Vinland Saga. That anime is so good. But until then, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I just remembered the main character's name is Adondis. So, there you go. See ya.